Hi, welcome to One Word Today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue on our journey of learning just a little bit more about this amazing language every day. And 顽固不化 was what we talked about, somebody who is fixed in their thinking. So I guess that's corresponding to English close-minded, like they refuse to accept anything new. So no change for them. And because they are stubborn and world in them are pretty stable. There's no change expected. They don't want to change. So that's a kind of fossilized mentality. 固体燃料, where we continue with this 固 kind of stable. So last time we were talking about stable, it's like over time, right? But here, when we're talking about 固, it actually over space, like it's formed in one unit. It's not going to change that easily in its shape. So 固体 means solid object versus 液体 is fluid object. That's how Chinese classify. I mean, I guess in English as well, we have solid, fluid, gas form. I don't know how to say it. But Chinese, we have everything like different forms of objects have to pair with this T. Okay. Review of 固. We have the solid space, a block, and then we have 10. This is our 10 symbol on top of the mouse symbol. 10 mouses means 10 generations. So over 10 generations time in that closed environment, things are pretty stable. Things are not changing. It still hold true after 10 generations, basically. So that's our 固. And then eventually extend that meaning from, time-wise, things don't change to space-wise, things don't change either. So that's like hold their form. So that was solid, meaning 体. It came from pretty complicated image, but let's dissect. The left side means 骨. I mean, sounds 骨 means bone. So we have this kneecap, actually, image. So this is kind of a connection of the two joints together. And then we have this meat symbol. So the meat, the muscles attached on top of the bones. So that's our body. That's our bone image, actually. So we have both the bone and the muscle on top of the bone to depict this is about the bone. 骨. And on the right side is it was classified as the sound maker, but it doesn't sound the same at all. It sounds like a feng, which means harvesting. But originally, this portion was a ceremony. I guess a ceremony to say thank you or pray to God that we have a good year, a harvest year, that there is this container with a stand on top of flat surface, and then some cover on top of that, and within, so because you cannot really draw within what's in that container, right? So this is like an extra blown up view of what's inside. And this is actually already simplified. It was like a multiple things stacking up together, string together. It means plenty. So plenty of something hold in that cup, in that container on top of this structure. That's the ancient ceremony to, provide offerings to the god to say thank you. And we have this say thank you or the harvest within this container symbol paired with the bone to mean body, and specifically, I guess, most commonly used as on human body, to pair it with human body, because, okay, this is the material, right? The bone and the flesh, that's the material of a human body. But the right side, I guess, my interpretation is to view it, regarded as a spiritual human body, because humans, we need to eat. It's nutrition, right? So this is something related to farming, related to container, human as a vessel to not only contain food, but to convert that food to energy to produce, right? And then eventually say thank you to God. So this whole ceremonial sense of placement of our offering to our harvest to the divine is kind of what humans activities is sort of about, right? That's my symbol, and that's my interpretation. So body has both this anatomy side of it and also have this spiritual or ceremonial side of it. Together it forms the body. So we have solid body, so it's our way to say solid object. And then we have 燃料. These are a pair. 燃 means fuel. Okay, it came from the fire at the bottom. And in contemporary Chinese, the fire was simplified into four dots at the bottom of things. It's simply the fire, the cooking fire, mostly at the bottom, right? It's burning something on top of it. So what's on top of it? On top of it is pretty cruel to contemporary English speaking world. Okay, so the right side actually is a dog symbol. It's probably a side view of the dog with the ears, with the torso, long leg. And then the left is the meat. So basically it's dog meat on fire. So apparently dog eating was a long practice in our culture. We captured it in language. Evidence in there, no refusal, but that was, I guess, back then how the people survive as well, right? So I don't know why eating dog, but definitely dog back then was not raised as pet, was not raised as part of family. Dog is probably a domestic animal, just like sheep and what others. Sheep, goat, ox, or horses, farming or traveling. So animals, tamed animals serve different functions. And we do have like a pig is still the main meat source, but I guess dog was part of the cuisine as well. And then this cooking dog meat on fire, that was the origin. And eventually there's a way in the evolution of language that we have simplification process, right? We take up like half of it out, or we reduce the fire, like this structure, into just 4 dots, right? We have simplification process. But at sometimes we go the reverse way. We add something to it to make it more obvious. Like this, we add another fire symbol, fire symbol on the left. So actually we have the left side, that means the meaning maker, it is fire, just looking like this, right? Elongated on the left side. And then on the right symbol, it becomes the sound maker. It sounds like a 人, but 人 originally already means cooking dog meat on fire. And so together we make it even more obvious. We extracted the fire from the whole character and say it again, place it on the side to say this is something related to fire. And this is the fuel, burning the fire. Burning mainly for cooking. So that's our fuel. 料, material. Okay, material came actually from measurement, because you see the 3 marks. It's an ancient marking system called a dou that has a handle at the bottom. So this is kind of the yardstick back then, used to measure the volume of harvest, which are the grains. So the grains are pretty uniformly shaped, right, in similar sizes and shapes, and the weight of grains are uniformly distributed. So by measuring the volume, basically you don't have to measure the weight, because through volume you can calculate the weight. It's a pretty evenly mapped relationship. So you can just use this measuring device to measure the grain. So on the top left side is a grain symbol. So together it was formed to mean measuring, and eventually this extended into the things they measure, the materials they measure. And back then, farming, right? Agriculture was the main thing. So measuring grains, measuring your crop, that's the main measure. So that becomes a meaning of material. So fuel material, simply in English, we don't have to say fuel material, right? That's redundant. But in Chinese, because each character by itself can have its extended derived meanings, and it become like so versatile. You can hardly pin down the meaning of one character just by itself. So a common way to form Chinese to pair it with another character, and together they have a kind of like a locking mechanism. By pairing them together, then you have a sure understanding what that is. So by saying fuel material, and then would mean, okay, so this is about fuel. So solid body fuel simply means solid fuel. I guess this is one of the situations when Chinese actually is wordier than the English. And indeed, like this could be viewed as a translation, because 固体燃料, probably we don't really say it. It's a kind of our bookish way on our textbooks, probably chemistry or I don't know, physics, textbook way of expression to say solid fuel. Then we translate that 固体燃料. And probably in ancient times, we don't really classify things. We don't say 燃料 at all. We don't have 固体 concept either. So this was a later creation to pair different Chinese characters to form that meaning and become a translation to more scientific approach of our material world, right? Solid fuel. And this is an example of charcoal. Coal is one major solid fuel, and there are wood. This is not a science class, but just to tell you what Chinese, how we express solid fuel, 固体燃料. Cashing into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.